The museum really is our go-to spot, so I'm not surprised that I'm putting yet again another museum video up on the channel, but this time there was actually a really special exhibit, and I'm excited to get to talk about it. I mean, we all absolutely just adored it. If you're wondering why I look so good, it's because I am filming this while so horribly sick. Like, I'm dying. Beauty was not in the cards for me today. Okay. But I realized that I didn't have a video for this week or next week because we had St. Patrick's Day and Easter's coming up. And I wanted to do stuff for St. Patrick's Day because Elias's favorite color is green. And I was like, the whole holiday is about the color green. Issue is, everything that was an option to do for St. Patrick's Day that we could find were things that neither one was going to be interested in. Like, there's the parade that happens downtown. They don't like to stand still. Like, they don't want to stand still on the side of a street and just watch something. Like, so that was a no-go. Everything else we found just was like something that older kids would like, but they're not at ages that they'd really enjoy it right now. So we changed up our plans a little bit, and we ended up going to the museum. And it ended up being totally worth it, because on the day that we went, one, there was still a lot of green, because, like, everybody was, like, ready for St. Patrick's Day, and some people had showed up to the museum after the parade. So some families were just out and about all day, and so a lot of green, which Elias got a kick out of. Like, he kept, Mom, they're wearing green. I see, kid. I see, buddy. It's because tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, and that's, like, a big deal. It's not really a big deal to, like, most people, but, like, it's a big deal. And so we ended up going to the museum specifically for the Orca exhibit that is happening until September 12th. Just in case anybody wants to go check it out. I highly recommend it. First things first, I'm going to show you the little bit of video that I got inside it. I was too busy looking at everything to take video, though, and teaching my children about the stuff that they didn't already know. Because, truth be told, we knew a lot about what was in the exhibit. We ended our day with a little movie that was about whales. It was about blue whales, because they had that going in the 3D theater. So that was really fun, too. Just a very whale-filled day. But it's fine, because they both really love whales. Like, a lot. So, it just made sense. And I mean, Elias just loves whales because he thinks they're cool, and Leviathan loves them because he is a whale, if you ask him. He's a whale because his name's Leviathan. Therefore, he's a whale. I'm like, well, you do understand your name. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Here's the almost 6 minutes of stuff that I caught from inside the exhibit. So, leading up to the exhibit, I was honestly just a little nervous because we weren't entirely sure what to expect from it. We had to also wait a little bit for the time that we had paid for to go in, but it was really interesting. But I'll explain more of the nerves and stuff after all of the general, this is what you can see while you're there, that I did film. But yeah, so at least for right now, we were just killing time by letting them play on the ladybug that's in the little bug area. But yeah, right off the bat, you enter a room and it's got just these two really big, beautiful pictures. They were gorgeous. So it's already just a very Beautiful thing, it's got the sign for the exhibit name, and then you end up entering up in the room. He had a little bit of trouble with the button there, but yeah, you enter the room and you can walk through this big orca tail, and I thought that was a really cool little fun thing. And the very first thing that you see is, but yeah, so in this very first room you get a lot of general information about orcas, like their traveling patterns. You get the introduction to indigenous cultures and the general value that orcas had within certain parts of it and aspects of it. I'm also like super sick and can't use words apparently. But yeah, they had these really cool masks in there and just all of this information about them. There was artwork. It was really cool. And then of course you enter this room and they've got just the ocean on these giant screens just being projected, and they had life-size orcas, which the boys absolutely adored. They had 2 adult orcas and then a baby orca, and they were super great. I don't want to like go into everything that it was, but the baby then this display was a very important one because of the mother's maternal age. And then you go into this room and you get right off the bat just a whole skeleton, which is super cool to see. You also get a close-up of like a skull. Just really awesome little details like that. Just learning all that you can about orcas. There was, of course, like brain display, their brain compared to our brain, just to show like intelligence. I mean, come on. And then there was this very interactive little display here that could show you all about their body. It included a lot of details from their organs, muscles, skin, to details about how to tell female and male apart, as well as how babies happen and all of that fun information. And right off to the left of it, we entered this room, which went into more depth about the indigenous culture and orcas' roles within those cultures. And right here you can see the dancing mask that they had for display. And then right off there you go into Orcas Who Changed the World, which was a super sad turn of the exhibit. We'll talk more about it as it goes on and stuff. But this was a part of the exhibit that I was very nervous about.
See?
Yes, I do see.
This is my favorite game.
Okay, that's...
And I call it my favorite game.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
That's wonderful, baby.
So I call it.
Okay, Mommy's gonna continue talking now. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so I wasn't sure if they were going to include...
Grandma.
It was Grandma, yes.
And that's me.
That is you. But yeah, I wasn't sure if they were going to include any of this stuff, but they did, and that was very nice to see that, like, they didn't, like, it wasn't just about orcas, and it wasn't just about, you know, indigenous cultures and their interactions with orcas, but it was about a lot of the bad about orcas. Perfect timing for that sentence, too, because of course it happens when SeaWorld pops up. Ugh. I have a lot of hatred for SeaWorld. Yeah.
For fish.
I have a lot of hatred for SeaWorld. I'm raising my children to know that we never give money to SeaWorld. But yeah. So they had a lot of that. They had the Free Willy stuff right here. And then next to Free Willy, you get Blackfish. Little Tilikum. I love Tilikum. Such a sad time. But yeah, you get Moby Doll, Namu.
Me too, Mommy.
Ugh. It goes into all kinds of different whales. You get the Shamu, Keiko, which was the whale in Free Willy, Tilikum, and Tokite. And there was also a picture of an orca that was jumping out of a tank at SeaWorld. And I had to explain to Elias that that is the evil that I talk about a lot. But it ended with an orca that is having us discuss if orcas should have legal personhood, which was interesting. I also want to add in, before I end the video, really. I wanted to just add really quick that I truly loved this exhibit. I loved, all the information that it gives you about orcas and the introduction to orcas as an animal that you get, being able to physically see how big their brain is, all that really, really cool sciencey stuff. And I love that halfway through this exhibit, it becomes this very big, what we're doing to them is wrong, what they're going through is wrong. And if you care about orcas, consider these things that are happening to them right now. And I loved that. I loved the message behind the exhibit. I genuinely did not know if they were going to touch on that at all, and that's why I was so nervous about it, because I was like, if they don't touch on some of the biggest things that we've seen happen with orcas, which is their mistreatment by us, I'm going to be so sad. I'm going to be so sad. But they touched on it. They touched on it in such a beautiful way.